Okay, hello everyone. I'm here to show you Hulu Plus on Tivo. Now, I do not have a Hulu Plus account. Uh, just haven't decided to get one for a lot of reasons. I'm told that their programming is incomplete or has gaps in it, and also I'm not a big fan of well, we'll go through it more, but I'm not a big fan of pay services at this moment that also contribute commercials. So how you get to it is you push on mute and Tivo thing. You come down to find. Now, I'm having some glare issues, but I'm trying to walk you through. I did zoom in on it, and let's go ahead and get a little zoom in now and see if you can see the menu a little more clear. And there we go. So you've got your listings here, and you go over to Hulu Plus. And what I first noticed about it, I'm going to back off a little bit just to preserve the quality of the image, is there's some delay. And I don't know if it's Hulu's side or it's Tivo's side. This is on Tivo Premiere. So I get this up front. Are you a subscriber? Reasonable question. I am not. And then you get this advertisement talking about how great it is. And one of the things that kind of I thought was just odd, and it could be more polished, and if you're trying to get people to come on board, you really want to polish these things, is it says view samples or already a subscriber. So, and there's a referral code here. I'm guessing that gives Tivo a slice of the action. It's $8, $7.99. Sorry, I'm getting some static in the background. It's $7.99 to sign up. I think that's a little high for a service that has commercials already put into it. If the commercials were, say, maybe a little more directed towards things I cared about, like I'm going to see tech review or tech company commercials by Best Buy, or I'm going to see, Save the Whales because I love whales, or that type orientated, or maybe science-based commercials, then I might be more on board if they dropped it, say, three points. So $5 and the commercials in my selection, I may be a little more open to that. So let's go ahead and say I am not a member, so let's view samples. Now, sorry, more static. So what you see here is you see that the menu is actually laid out on Tivo a lot more like Netflix. You've got a side slider showing shows that you can go ahead and watch. Now, that might be different with the paid account, but this is what's available. Now, just on my samples, I've got 18. What I would have rather seen is tiles, so that I could get a lot more idea what my choices are, or some sort of menu system that maybe. Now, that may be there on regular paid Tivo, or not Tivo, regular Hulu Plus, in which case, I think it was a bad idea of them to say, here's your sample, this isn't what you get. But if this is what you get, if this is how Hulu Plus normally works, if I've got 18, it's not a big deal to scroll over. But if I've got 75, that's a little bit of an issue. Maybe it breaks down into categories. Oddly enough, a lot like Netflix. Now, one thing that when I did my Netflix demo that I think I should have shown you guys, but I didn't, is that when you go to Netflix through the TV rather than through the TiVo, the menu system's really different. And it's really a preference. Some people would rather have this. So let's choose something that's SD, and we'll go with Carl Sagan, who's a classic, renowned scientist. And I think these are late 70s or early 80s, something along that time range. And it goes through and comes up. Now, I'm over here programming, and it always does that little static thing. If you were cable or something like that, you would see your cable, I think, or something like that. Or maybe you would see it static, I'm not sure. Now, this is what it says, add 202 and 102, and it gives me a time counter on how soon until the ad goes away. I'm not real happy about that. I do like knowing when the commercial is going to end, but since I can scan forward anyways, except for through the commercials, it wouldn't matter for regular DVR. So if I'm using the TiVo in a normal effect, I can go past the commercials. But I can scan at this point. So I go ahead and I say I'm going to go ahead and scan. And it tells me the quality. It tells me if I got closed caption on and off. And so this is a real program. It gives me a time count. So I go here. And I'm waiting. There's a rating system. I like that. So, if I'm not as familiar with the show, sorry, my leg's going numb. So here the quality is as it was originally when this was filmed, and it had to be some time ago. And so it's not as good, but it's watchable, and we're kind of up close. Far away, this probably wouldn't bother me, and recognizing that the information and the show is more important than the visual quality, I would just go with it. Now, I have seen this through Netflix, and I will remark that through Netflix, the quality seemed to be better. I'm not sure if Netflix has a more refined copy, or they're running it through a filter system and Hulu Plus is not. But that was my personal experience. I'd be interested to hear from other people to see if they've seen it on both and what they think. So let's go ahead and look at something that's on HD now. So I go ahead and I say, okay, I want my menu to appear. Use my arrow key. I want my menu to appear. I use my arrow keys because it's being a little stubborn there. I go to browse. It takes me back to here. Let's choose The Office. I know that's in HD. I know it's in pretty good quality. So I go ahead and goes to it. And again, we're looking at this hesitation. And I personally, I think that they could streamline that, and I think they could work with Tivo to streamline that. I don't know if Hulu through the computer has hesitation. In my experience, Netflix doesn't have any hesitation through the computer. However, through Tivo, there's a marginal one, but not like this. So I don't know if you can tell, but the visual quality, this is in HD. It's still not as good. It's not as good as over the air, and honestly, if I was going to go ahead and go through something else, it's not bad. I can still see a lot of detail, and in fact, the detail seems to be improving, which kind of tells me that they compressed originally, and now it's being processed or something along that lines. So it's watchable. I'm seeing some artifacting, which is not what I see when I watch this through the Tivo over the air, and I record it and I watch it again later. So that's an effect of Hulu Plus through the Tivo. Yes, they merged to become Tivo. That's the effect of Hulu Plus through the Tivo. Standard images still are good. Not as thrilled about the moving. So I'm seeing a little bit of artifacting, a little bit of distortion. And then when I scan, I don't get the whole show because this is a sample. So I click here, and now it could be that my sample isn't as good. I think that's a bad move on Hulu Plus's part. I think that they should be putting their best game forward to make me want to buy into the service for $8 a month, which I'm not going to do. Like here, the imaging actually looks a little better, so maybe it is the sample. Now, I would have had another commercial at this point. They seem to be spacing the commercials on a timeline, because I've watched a little bit of the show, and I've had a commercial, and I watch a little bit more, and some time passes. But if I fast forward, I get hit by a commercial immediately, and then shortly into the show, into the portion that I fast forward into, I'm hit with another commercial. I don't know if that is Hulu Plus all by themselves, or there's some influence from outside forces, Tivo, the networks would have. So my overall review is that, as it is, I believe that having the ability to see Hulu Plus through the Tivo is a nice add-on feature. For Hulu Plus's side, I think they're charging too much money, and I'd like to have some control over the type of advertisement if we're going to have that type of relationship. Hope that helps. If anyone has any questions, of course, please go ahead and email me, or not email, list it below, and I'll be happy to get an answer to you. Hasta